Today, I wanted to revisit a memory from the past. You probably remember playing that one board game as a child called The Game of Life. It wasn't the best board game out there, but it wasn't the worst. It was a decent way to pass some time when it was raining outside or it's too cold or something. When I went to buy the game recently, I noticed they updated it a little already. However, looking at this game again as an adult, there is one issue I had with this game. Given the main idea of the board game, in my opinion, it's a little too optimistic. I understand that this game is made for little kids and you don't want to make them depressed and nihilistic about life before they even hit puberty. However, I couldn't help but feel that I needed it to have a little bit of a 2025 update to make it a little bit more realistic and honest. Also, in full transparency, when I was looking into this game a little bit more, I saw that they released an online version, and I've never played the online version, so for all I know, it could include all of the stuff that I am about to include for the board game. This game was made looking through the lens of a person who has lived an upper middle class lifestyle. There nearly isn't enough struggle, so I added some. Let's take a look at the board. As you can see, there have indeed been some changes. I made sure to take a before and after to show a proper comparison. Let's start at the beginning. Okay, so this is inaccurate. No way are people getting houses this early in life nowadays. According to the National Association of Realtors, the average age for a first-time homebuyer is 40 years old as of November 2025. So I slashed the number of spaces from 8 to 4 and I made the first home spot available here. And I made the following cards for the rent option. For example, you're gonna probably start at the top here. You got your home for $90K, got your RV living, and then you got your apartment, then you got the duplex, your mobile homes. Of course, you gotta have living with your parents. Like a record number of Americans are living with their parents nowadays. Also, living in your car. I mean, I was on YouTube a few weeks ago and I saw that people have like entire TikToks dedicated to showing how to live the best comfortable life in your car. To me, that's like dystopian and wild, and that just says something about our society. Out at the bottom, homeless. Even though you're homeless, that's still gonna cost you a nice $20K. Of course, one of the requirements of the game is that you need to choose a career. So I decided to add a few career cards as well, such as construction. I just felt there weren't enough physical labor options available in the current set. Then of course you gotta have the trades for all of the people that went down the college route and were left with underwhelming career prospects when they found themselves out of the job market. Next thing, of course, is you gotta have gig work. I don't know how they missed that one. That's an increasingly popular option nowadays. And as you can see at the salary and the bonus salary, you can tell the salary is dropping because, I mean, gig work, 99% of the time, you're not going to really make a lot of money in that field, if you can even really call it a field. Next option is fast food, and you have also general manager. How could they forget about all of the grumpy, bitchy, middle-aged people in middle management that are upset that they aren't the district manager, so they take out their emotional anger out on you. And these are, you know, like the GMs of your fast food restaurants or of your convenience stores or your supermarkets, whatnot. Last but not least, or well, in terms of the salary it is least, is unemployment for those of whom are unfortunate or perhaps just maybe want to abuse the system. And no, you ain't getting any bonus. I don't know who would pick this card. I guess the way it would work in this version is that you would pick 2 cards, and the similarity to real life is that you might have to bite the bullet and choose a completely random BS job or choose unemployment. I'm kind of surprised they don't have military, but I feel that would involve transforming the entire beginning of the board, and this project was already a lot as it is. I also added a car space. No way transportation isn't a factor in people's lives. That's one issue I kind of have with this version of the Game of Life, that they didn't really include like any options for transportation. Like, I mean, that's a big part of people's lives. So I added a few transportation spaces. If you land on a space, you have to pick 2 cars and choose the preferred option or scenario, i.e. the less expensive option. And I made the following options here. There's also the people that take public transportation. Then you got like your oil changes, people be biking to certain destinations, and you got moped for 20k, and then you got the used cars, the beaters, the clunkers, whatever you want to call them, for a nice 30k. I mean, the average age of the average American car is I heard 16 years as of 2025, so a lot of people are owning clunkers nowadays. And then the next card up is your newest model car for 40k. Then you got electric car for 50k. I mean, I think only 1% of Americans still only own electric cars as of this year, but they're really trying to push for more people to own them. Then you got your RV at 70k, and then also all those people that want their big gigantic trucks for 60k. Then you got limos for your well-to-do folks, and then luxury model cars as well. If you are wondering what the red spaces are, the red spots are for medical situations. You have to pick a card out of the deck and hope for the best, basically. I mean, especially in the United States in 2025, you better hope that you're fully healthy and you don't have to take medication, or you have to go to doctors, or have really anything to do with the medical industry, because it's just a bureaucratic, expensive nightmare. And I'm kind of surprised that the Game of Life doesn't really include anything related to medical situations, so I decided to offer that as another obstacle in the game. I mean, most of these are gonna be like financial issues. If you have that little medical symbol on your card, it means that you have medical insurance and you get to pay the lower price on these. And if your job doesn't have medical insurance, you have to pay the higher price. For example, let's look here. Take part in a clinical trial, you actually get 50k. Minor cut, okay, you lucked out, your insurance covers 100%, congrats. And if you don't have insurance, pay 10k. Routine exam, 10k to 30k. Oh, you got a broken leg, 20k out of pocket, 40k. Well, I should actually say 20k with insurance and 40k out of pocket. Car accident, like totally, for most times, like not your fault. It's either like the weather or even other drivers or even just the car itself, but you still gotta pay for your medical bills. So 30k with insurance and 50k with no coverage. And same thing with cancer, like it's kind of biological Russian roulette, but the American medical industry does not care. If you have insurance, pay 50k. If you don't, put up a nice 100 grand. Experimental treatment, basically medical bankruptcy. Give up your house, give up 50% of your money. Chronic illness, yeah, you're gonna keep this card for the rest of the game, and you're gonna have to pay 10k if you pass a red spot, regardless of landing on the red spot or not landing on the red spot. I decided to add a few more action cards as well. Going through the action cards, as you can see, they did a pretty good job of capturing what life may be like in like the 2020s, but I decided to add a few more, and those include government shutdown. If there is a payday in the next 20 spaces, get no bonus and pay is withheld until you reach the next payday after the 20 spaces. Inflation, your money has lost 50% of its value. Give half of your money back to the bank. That sounds like so very 2022. Spend the whole 2020s basically. Oh, you picked a recession card. So you gotta return your job, then pick a new career from 2 new cards, return any house, return any car, and give half of your money back to the bank. The original Game of Life didn't really include like anything related to crime, so I included a victim card. Lose 50k of your life savings in a scam. Also natural disaster, you're gonna lose your home in the natural disaster, and if you don't happen to have a home, lose your car, and if a player doesn't have either, give up 10k of damages. The card with a skull and crossbones means that you have died and that the game has ended for you. However, if you pick this card late enough during the game and you have family, you can choose to sacrifice one of them in order to continue. People are also getting married later in life and having less children, so I made some accommodations to factor that in. I moved up all the stops in the following order. I kept the first one, spin to graduate. College doesn't really even matter nowadays. The second stop, I switched to quarter life crisis. The third stop, I switched to finally get married, because I believe the average age that the average American is getting married nowadays is like 30, if not like 30 to 33, in that range. I figured it's justified. And finally, I made the last stop, grow your family. Also, I wasn't a fan of the flat 50k to pay for marriage, so I added some marriage cards. You can even choose to go buy, and that could either be a boost to your chances or perhaps hurt your chances. So let's look at the options. So I got a wealthy guy, gal option, get married into wealth, and instead of paying the 50k, you get 50k. Then I got hardworking guy and gal, average Joe, normal person basically. You gotta pay 50k for the wedding. Deeply religious guy or gal, get married at a church for 30k and also add a kid to your family. Baby daddy, 10k, get married at the courthouse, add a kid. Baby mama, 10k, get married in the backyard, add a kid. And finally, people are exploring a lot more nowadays with their sexuality and everything, so I added polyamorous relationship for 75k. On the norm retirement space, it's a skull and crossbones, cause you'll most likely be working till you die. There were a few edits and transformations that didn't make the final cut, but I felt deserved an honorable mention at the end. Many of them were action cards. For example, the first one I want to go over is rehab, which is basically get hooked to powerful drugs, lose your house, your job, and all of your money. Your money was used in a last-ditch effort to come back clean and rehab, and so basically you have to start over from scratch. Then you got the jail card. If you pick this card, you lose your job, and for the next 10 spaces after this card, any actions on those are voided, meaning that no more action cards or paydays in the next 10 spaces. Also, your feet pics explode in popularity on OnlyFans. Get 30k. And finally, a viral video online surfaces of you going off on an explosively racist, sexist, xenophobic and homophobic tirade against a coworker, lose your job, and $20,000 in emotional and legal damages. Did you like my modifications to the game? Don't worry, I don't actually plan on going to file a patent on the modifications for this particular version of the Game of Life. Did you have any modifications that you would add on your own? Feel free to share your opinion below, and as always, thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.